So today is Monday, the 13th of May, and I just thought I'd share a little bit of an update on the energies, cosmic weather forecast, if you like. We're going to have our first quarter moon this week. So on last week's video, we were talking about the new moon in Taurus. So we had the new start of the cycle. Then the moon comes round and it squares the sun. So the moon keeps moving. It's the fastest celestial being to up there. So she's kind of moved around. Today she's going to move into the sign of Leo. And by Wednesday, she's going to come into a square with the sun. This creates the image of half a moon in the sky. And it's a point in the cycle where there's a little bit of tension, and it can allow us to, all tension can allow us to reassess our intentions for the new moon, our position with where we stand around that, whether that so things are working for us, what is working, what is not. So any sort of tension can bring stuff up to the surface to get us to have a little look at, you know, where our energy is best directed. I'm just going to pull up the chart because there's a few things. Hopefully, this is it. There's a few things that are good to look at for the week and to take into consideration. So this is the 15th of May. So this is the chart for the first quarter. So the moon is in Leo at 25 degrees, and it is exactly squaring the sun, which is the circle with the dot in it, in Taurus at 25 degrees. So you can see that actually it's not just coming into a square with the sun, it's coming into a square with, and the sun is kind of nestled in between Jupiter and Uranus at the same time. So this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that many people, many astrologers have been talking about, is still very much full in effect. It wasn't just the moment when they came to the same degree point, it's still happening. And what do these two planets do? They are about expansion. So Jupiter is about expansion. Uranus is about liberation from our unconscious. So this combination is creating a lot of change. It's wanting us to break out of any limitations, expand out of areas that may be holding us back or keeping us a bit stuck. I say stuck because Taurus is a fixed energy, fixed earth energy. So it wants to stay the same, you know, it's quite stubborn. And both of these planets are like, no, we're coming out, we want that moved. We want to break out of that. We want to break free from that. So, so the moon, so you may find this week that there is some kind of yes, pull between our pride. Like if we think about Leo energy, so when the moon moves into Leo today, later on today, and then over the next couple of days, it's going to remain in Leo. So the energy of Leo is very much about our personal creative center. So it can, in its lower vibration, be pride and the that egoic me and my sort of energy. So it's like the king. If you think about the lion, the image of the lion and the leader of the pack, it has this sort of regal energy. So it's important to watch ourselves and watch where we may be, like where that stubbornness and pride may be preventing us from tuning into our bodies, hearing and listening to the wisdom of our bodies and our calling to change. But Leo is also very playful, very romantic, and very creative. So, there is an opportunity when we feel that tension to try something, to be a bit more playful, to be a bit more soft and a bit more childlike in our approach to our challenges. So if the moon is, if we're now just at the end of Cancer, by the the end of today, early tomorrow morning, the moon will be coming into oppose Pluto in Aquarius as well. So we're going to have this opposition first in the run up to this week. We're going to feel that also a bit of tension when you have oppositions. The moon is wanting its comfort in its own beliefs and ways of doing things and its creative center, and the Pluto, which is this another transformative energy in the new early signs of Aquarius, is wanting to also change for the future. So I suppose there may be some sort of opportunity or um, something that might present itself as a bit of a risk, as something that doesn't feel familiar, because Aquarius is a bit out there. It's like the unknown as well. It's outer space, weird. So it might feel like, oh, I don't, that's not how I've always done it. That's not what I've always known. But there is, we are wanting to change. Like, we don't want things to carry on the way they were. So new ways of being are going to need to be reimagined. They're not going to, it's what we want for the future isn't necessarily going to look like what we've known so far. So to be open to explore those moments where we hear those fateful words, I can't, or yeah. So just look out for them. Don't believe them, because obviously anything you can do anything you want to do. But just listen out for them, and have a little meditate on where that can't is coming from, and whether it can be changed. So also, as the moon moves towards this first quarter, this square, it's also going to come into a harmonious aspect with all these planets in Aries. So if we look back to the solar eclipse, which I know I keep referring to, but it was so powerful, that solar eclipse. And I think obviously it's a 6-month cycle, an eclipse cycle, and it was holding a lot of weight around healing our personal sense of identity. Chiron was involved, so it's very healing. And it's healing the way we see ourselves. It's healing the what we allow ourselves to be as well. So the moon is going to come in. Leo is a fire sign, Aries is a fire sign, so they work well together. So Tuesday, yeah, most of Tuesday, we're going to feel um, some flow there with our personal assertion. So, it could create some heat in the unconscious, but those of us that are on our healing path may find that actually we gain a little bit of our own voice again. We work a little bit more towards owning our abilities and seeing ourselves, the truth of who we are, because Chiron is a wound that obscures the truth of who we are. And when the moon comes in and wants us to feel some sort of play with this, like some sort of pride as well, we may actually seeds might start to sprout, around what we know we've got the ability to do. So we all have different gifts. We've all been born with a chart that provides insight into that as well. So we can see in the chart where we expand, where our consciousness will most expand for us. Where if we point our focus, we will get results always. Wherever the sun sits in your chart is a good place to look at that. So, yeah. So there's a nice, even though there is some sort of friction there, and it's going to be easier for some people to change than it is for others. Some of us have a lot of fixed energy, have a lot of earthy, heavier energy in our charts, and don't find change that comfortable, can bring up a lot of fear. And this is why yoga is really great for working on yourself and on your body so that you can become more grounded and when everything is moving quite erratically around us and wanting to shift. And other people will be like, yeah, bring it on. I love a bit of change. Don't want to stay the same. But yeah, it's not to say one is right or wrong. It's just to be a little message to be kind to yourself when it comes to feeling any difficulty around these transitions. So with the expansion going on, there's just a few things advice I would give you for the week is firstly to get grounded, stay grounded, and get your feet on the earth. Nothing better than getting into your body and onto the earth. Be with nature as much as possible. Try to avoid too much electromagnetic stuff, or if you have to work with electromagnetic stuff, ground yourself. Get your bare feet on the earth or something. Be patient. Be patient. Don't expect the things to manifest immediately. All these little subtle shifts are happening in their own good time. So be patient with yourself and the process, and stay as heart-centered and neutral as you can. Hey, that was a yes, wasn't it? Listen to your body, yeah. So the sign of Taurus, where Jupiter and Uranus are expanding, rules our physical body. So you might feel some messages or hear some messages during this time. So listen within and see what comes up for you. See where you can be a bit kinder to yourself. And apply some gratitude as well, because Taurus also rules the money and our sense of self-worth. So I've noticed a lot of people, myself included, having some challenges around money, having some narratives pop up around worth, self-worth and stuff. And to escape that trap of feeling less than or not having enough, to apply some gratitude practices to your day can really help. So if you would like to have your chart read, if you would like to know a little bit more about your personal astrology, you can visit my website and book from there. I'll be happy to help you. Blessed be.